Hello, listeners, and welcome to Uber Cinco, the podcast where we deep dive top fives. I am Nathan Hennenfent, your host for today, in which our contestants will reveal and defend their top 5 attributes of a great shindig. Be it a party, function, soiree, get-together, or ice cream social, there can be only 5 top reasons to attend. Our 2 contestants have spent all day strapping on their cone-shaped hats, carefully choreographing their dance moves, and delicately cutting lines of cocaine. First up, he isn't half the man of a man twice his size, but he puts the A in Mitchell A. Brinkman. It's Mitch Brinkman. Hello, Mitch.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening as well to you listeners taking this in after the sun goes down. Thanks for coming back. Let's do this, baby.
All right, and also with us we have a man who tells us he sleeps with one eye closed, and also the other eye. He's above average in height and has exactly average strength for a man as strong as he is. It's Brian Ernst. Hello, Brian.
Hello, and he also has his own gravitational pull.
All right, if this is your first time in the Uber Cinco Den, let us wake you out of hibernation with a quick rundown of the rules. Each player in the den has spent time with today's topic arranging their top 5 answers in order of importance. Those answers have been submitted to the host who will moderate the game, awarding points to the player with the most poignant answer.
Starting with their number 5 choice, we will move up the ranks until we reach each of their top answers. But if both contestants happen to have the same answer on their list, well, we have an Uber stare-down.
You will hear the official Uber Cinco siren, and both players must reveal their answer and what number they ranked their submission. An Uber stare-down is all or nothing, with one player earning 3 points. After all answers have been read, the host will reveal the final score.
And as host, I'm entitled to institute a house rule for today's game, which is, as most of my life has been completely in the interest of self-preservation and humiliating my friends, if you tell a story that incriminates me of actions I've done at a party, -1 point. Ooh. But if you tell on yourself any party story that paints you in an unflattering light, that's bonus point.
All right.
All right.
I will be playing dead even today.
All right, as a reminder, don't forget to stick with us until the end of the show where I, Nathan, will give you my Fast 5 send-off where I will rattle off the definitive list of the top 5 dad jokes.
Oh. There's going to be a few today, I think. Quite a few.
As we've crossed the 30-yard line of life, our behavior at parties has definitely veered into dad territory. So.
Yes.
Well, hey, without further ado, let's get started. Top 5 attributes of a great shindig. I'm going to start with Mitch Brinkman. Number 5, please.
Okay, yeah. So my number 5 attribute of an excellent shindig, one that I'm throwing at my house, is absolutely going to be number 5. Here it is. Ample ice. Ample ice. That is so important. Number 1, obviously, for making drinks. If I don't have a fancy newfangled fridge with an unending ice supply inside the door, so either I need to use trays or I need to get probably 2 22-pound bags of ice, because I'm going to be shaking drinks. I'm going to be giving people extra ice because everyone loves a cold drink during a party. And then also another very important thing for ice, you put it in the coolers. So you get that beautiful mixture of beverages in the cooler when someone opens the lid and the choice is theirs. It's incredible. And also what that does is very, very important too. You know, you might not think about this, but I'm reminded of this by bar rescue great John Taffer, and this is my version of what he calls the ass funnel. And that is his version of it. There's a rail around the dance, the dance area, so everyone has to enter and exit at one area. Therefore, meeting each other, brushing up, saying hello, whispering. You get enough ice in a cooler. No one has to go to the fridge or in the kitchen. They can stay in the communal hangout area, and therefore, that's the ass funnel. That's bringing people back to the area where the ice is, back to where the conversation is. back to where you might accidentally brush a hand, reach for the same White Claw mango flavored hard seltzer. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. No, please, you go. And that creates magic. So ample ice, extremely important.
There's a trick that you're forgetting to mention, which I have seen you use at multiple parties with
and
this
what is that?
as funnel. This is not necessarily even using a cooler, but going with the bathtub.
The bathtub, yes. And that works great if you have more than one bathroom in your house.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because if there's one bathroom, then there's a lot of turd particles in the air getting all over those cans. And at that point, then you should also have a strong hose outside. You can hose those cans down before you put your mouth on them. So,
let me go to the shitter to get another shit can and hose off in the yard.
And so therefore, on the other side, if you have like an old clawfoot tub that you found in an empty lot down the block,
as you do,
as you do, toss that in the back of your Subaru and bring it to your backyard. So, I got to mention one more thing. Also, having ample ice is great for inevitably someone will get injured or fall or do something. Boom, you have ice right there, ready to put it into a bag. Boom, you're icing an injury, just like that.
From the start, I was trying to picture how many ice trays you would need to produce 44 pounds of ice in a typical freezer.
My God, it would be fucking insane. Yeah. And there's nothing worse than when you go to a party and someone's like, the fridge is like too small or already full of food or too packed. Yeah. And then you're just like, oh yeah, my beer's on the counter, and you see it sweating. And it's been sweating so long that the packaging is now kind of wet. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, I don't want to drink that beer. I want something ice cold.
That's not a fun shindig. Fun shindig.
No, that is not a good shindig. Also, I think much like mana or earth or energy, basically for society to run well, ice is the blood of a great party. So that's my number 5. It's not sexy, but it is cool.
Got quite existential there at the end, though. That was a nice touch.
Thank you.
Okay, Brian.
You guy missed my dad joke. I said it's not sexy, but it's cool.
We got it. We got it.
And you reacted like I always react to the jokes my dad tells. That he then explains afterwards.
Do you want it to be an accurate reaction, or do you want it to be falsified? Come on.
I'm sorry.
All right, so ice is cool. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. All
right, Brian, bring us back to the center lane here. Give us your number 5.
All right, number 5 for me, one of my top attributes for a fun shindig is the ability to be free range. I call this is something that's made my list because I've been to other fun shindigs and I've tried to implement this at mine. And it's the ability for guests to feel free, as though they have free range to go wherever they want. There's no off limit areas to this party. You want to switch between inside and outside? Go for it. You want to go ahead to the basement, cool off for a bit, watch some TV? Go for it. If you need to use the upstairs bathroom for some privacy, I got you. Go up there. No problem. So if I need to dodge an uncomfortable conversation, I want to make sure that there's another place that I can escape to. Or if on the opposite end, if I'm in a good conversation, I want to be comfortable in the place that I'm at. I'm also a sweater. There's nothing worse than being in a claustrophobic environment that I can't escape. And those kind of shindigs are the worst. So nothing assures me I'm not at a fun shindig more than uncomfortability. So that's my number 5, the ability to be free range.
I think I can relate to this. I made the mistake last Christmas of going to a Christmas party. My intention was to get there pretty early, and I got there early, and it was a smaller apartment, and there were only
start time.
No,
okay, good.
But it was it was like from 3 p.m. to whenever.
Question marks.
Yeah, double question marks.
But I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stop in, but yeah, it was a smaller apartment, and there were just like 6 people there, and I realized I was like, oh, I don't want to talk to these people. And yeah, not having an escape route in that situation, absolutely brutal.
I just want to say too, I remember how quiet you were that day, and I just thought something had happened. You Grinch motherfucker. No, I'm just
Does
kidding.
that mean Mitch loses a point?
Sorry.
I just want to be fair here.
Oof. Yeah. Well, was that a real party or a fictional party?
No, that was a fictional.
Damn it.
Since Mitch didn't invite me to his Christmas party and so I wasn't there, I can't deduct him a point.
Another thing was nice though, wasn't it?
Thanksgiving was excellent. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing I want to add on to Brian's is the free range. Is like that opens it up to impromptu games. Like
For
you
sure.
can, particularly if there's an outside area, you can get the bag toss out, or I prefer, bag toss. Come on, let's risk injury here. Horseshoes, get the metal flying through the air. That's how I like to do it.
Plus, if you're at a party with a large yard, sometimes you feel like being a tent guy. You want to sit outside the tent. Sometimes you want some sun to throw the horseshoes or cornhole, or you want to go in the house and cool off for a bit and just sit on a couch and lounge after you've had too much to eat. Like, you need to be able to switch these areas.
I do love the option of experiencing that delightful temperature change when you go from 85 degrees to 68 degrees.
Oh yeah.
Moving. I mean, I just like that generally in life, but at a party, nice touch.
I have a question about games here for you guys. Now, when we're in college, playing beer pong at a party was always the worst thing to watch because it just was not any fun. I felt like it always killed the rhythm of a party. I always wished it would be off in the corner as like a thing you could do to maybe ramp up your drunkenness or whatever, or if you really just love beer pong that much. But in the case where you have bags or horseshoes, do you set up like an audience area right next to the playing area so people can sit, chat with the players and watch, or is it a off on its own to the side game?
I think off on its own.
Off on its own. It can't be the centerpiece because it's loud for people who are trying to, like, if your bags are smacking or horseshoes are clanging.
That's
the
true.
people who are eating don't want that. But if it's off to the side, there's no stopping anybody from bringing the lawn chair over to put grandma in front of something that'll entertain her. It's possible.
There's nothing worse than those guys at parties who are doing like beer pong or horse, whatever it is, where it's an activity that requires no skill whatsoever, and they expect people to watch them and be impressed. That's like, oh God, that's so no.
I do enjoy that feeling of like when they come back from the boards and they're like, help me and Taylor won, like, who's next? And then people look around the party and they're like, do you want to go? Should we do this? Should we get? And then, so yeah, that is fun.
Or my favorite dad phrase, every time I play with him or he's playing with somebody else and someone makes a ringer, that's my partner. That's what I hear. That's the sign of a fun shindig.
I've heard my can't remember which uncle it is. It's on my he has many brothers-in-laws, but one of my uncles yells, "Way to be an ace-hole!" when someone puts it right in the hole.
Jesus.
Another great dad joke. So yeah, I hope everyone's rolling in laughter.
Oh God.
At home, and please do wash it off when you're done rolling in it. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got to score this round. Mitch, I was really on board with the ice idea, but then you kind of brought me down with some pessimism about people getting injured, and that took the wind out of my sails. I understand you're being careful, but it brought my party mood down a little bit. So 2 points to Mitch.
All right.
And Brian, I'm with you with I don't want to be trapped with awkward conversation. I want to be able to move around, but that doesn't set my toes a tapping. That's more of a logistical thing. So I'm gonna go with 2 points for you as well. So we're fair. All even, 2 each. Brian, I would like for you to lead us off for number 4.
Number 4, I have as the communal mixed drink. Oh boy.
Okay, so that was your number 4. Mitch has a very similar entry at his number 2. Mitch, would you like to read out your number 2?
Of course, yes. My number 2 is a mixed punch cocktail that crowd pleases and is more alcoholic than you think upon tasting. So,
all right, very good. Brian, since it was your turn, please go first.
All right, so I have the communal. Oh my God, Mitch, are you okay?
Yeah, I just had
a nice swig of that communal cocktail.
had some sputum coming up. I had to get rid of it. Thank you.
So the communal mixed drink I have at number 4 because this is the visual cue, first of all, that I'm at a fun shindig. There's a bowl or a jug or a pitcher or a fancy crate and barrel glass beverage container with a spout. This can be sherbet punch or a spiked nog for the holidays, a sturdy sangria for a hot summer's day, a vodka-infused Arnold Palmer with floating lemons. There's something about a ladle in a bowl next to a stack of red Solo cups that calls to me. And its size is an invitation of unlimitedness. And it beckons back to you. It's okay. Come, have more. I've got plenty. And I need that at a fun shindig.
What's sherbet punch? I don't know if I've ever had that
So if you got like carbonated Hawaiian punch with then some sort of booze inside, you can do whatever you want, vodka or whatever. Usually champagne people put in it to make it extra fizzy. Then you just unload an entire fucking thing of sherbet into the middle of it, like orange usually.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, whoa. Oh,
Yep.
Wow, that's very festive.
Yeah, so then you go and you ladle a couple of the bubbly red drink into your cup, and then you get a little bit of the sherbet, throw on top, and you're like, it's dessert and a drink.
This sounds like every 16-year-old's favorite way to start drinking initially.
Do you guys want to hear a dad joke?
Yes.
You can feel free to jump in with the answer. What did Ernie say when asked if he wanted some ice cream?
Oh, no.
Sherbet.
Get out. I'm already mad at sherbet. How did we put the R into sherbet? How did it happen? I want to know. We need to get to the bottom of this. This sherbet and kernel need to be removed from the English dictionary.
Well, yeah, isn't sherbet different from sherbet? Isn't it a higher sugar content?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I feel like if the one we get still says sherbet on the container.
It does. It does. It's a Berenstain Bears situation. For whatever reason, everyone puts the R in there.
Correct.
And you're right. It is. I think sherbet sounds nicer too than sherbet. Like, oh, I'll get a cone of sherbet instead of sherbet. Like sherbet's it's cleaner. It comes off the tongue much nicer.
Sherbet feels like it needs an English accent, where sherbet is American.
Yeah. Sherbet, or take a cone of sherbet. Oh, yes. Just a little later of sherbet. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Exactly. See? You're on board.
Oh, hold on. Pour a bunch of gin on top. Thank you very much. Yes.
And to go along with the dad jokes, I mean, this is where you get to have those hilarious dad conversations, is when you're going back to this communal mixed drink while you're refilling, and somebody can be like, back for more? Or no, there must be crack in here. It's so good. Or shh, don't tell anyone I'm back. You get those. You get that at a communal mixed drink, which is great.
Or I hope someone else is driving home. And then you're like, you brought kids to this.
Well, the best part is when you go.
So my take on this is, you hit on all the great big points. Is that it makes everyone feel comfortable to participate in the party and to enjoy themselves, because that is true. Like a punch bowl means it's a festive gathering. And the reason I know, Brian, I got you with one of these at my housewarming party a couple years back, which was like a bourbon black tea something. And I remember you coming up to me. I can't remember if I was at the grill or chatting with someone like in the dining room, and you came up and your cheeks were just red, and like you were gonna I think you were gonna go home at a regular hour, and you walked up and you were like, "Hey, this drink's awesome." I was like, yeah, dude, oh great. And I remember you just like you let loose, and then you had a long trip home on the train, and some other fun things happened on the train that night. But that
was that night. Yes.
Yeah. But so that's why this is and I'm not saying this should not be used in any way to be nefarious. Of course, I'm not not advocating for that. But for people to let loose and be like, I'm having a good time. And when people are a little loose, then they're ready to do things they wouldn't normally do. Maybe dance a little harder than they would normally, or talk to that cute shy boy or that cute shy girl in the corner who, you know, they don't know yet. They're a stranger, but hey, maybe something will happen. Maybe a conversation will get started that's a little tawdry, a little bad, and starts to reveal some things about people. So I think that Commuter Punch Bowl is perfect. And I want to add one more idea. This is something that my college roommate Brad and I used to make in college. Whole handle of vodka, a frozen can of limeade, and limes and club soda. That's ready for summer.
Did you guys have a name for that?
I think we called it Jesus Juice, which doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
But I think we first served the most of it at our Bible figures party that we had. So
right.
Yeah.
Which sadly, you guys hosted that before I started to look like Jesus.
Yeah. I don't remember who you were at that party, but I know Brad was Jesus because he had the long hair and the facial hair, and I was Judas, of course. But.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
it's the red hair.
Do we not get to know what happened on the train with Brian? Is that?
Oh, we could tell this story. It's a fun little story. I was sobered up by the time. I remember it was on the Blue Line. This is probably around the Cicero stop, heading west there. I remember I was sitting on a train and one group of kids, probably junior, senior high school, started picking on what looked like probably freshman, sophomore in high school. And these kids took the glasses off of one kid. That kid stood up and was like, give me my glasses back. And they were just kind of like, fuck you, Harry Potter. And he's like, can I just have my glasses back? And they put his glasses back on and they wound up and they slapped him across the face. And I look around, there are multiple adults older than me at this time on the train that just looked down at their phone. So I got up and we were about to get to a stop and I lost it. I've never been this angry before in my life. And I got up, the doors open, I was like, get the fuck off the train right now. You sit down, don't touch him, get off. And the guy went to go like punch me in the face. And I was like, do it, punch me right now. And I was like, why do I say that? I've never said that before in my life.
Wow.
And I was like, boom, get off. And then I pressed the button, the emergency button, because like somebody needs to know about this. And then those kids run off. They try to go around the other door and come back in. And I'm like, no. They finally left. And then the train stops. All the doors open again. And the conductor comes all the way around. I swear to God, he looks like Mario from Nintendo. He's super tiny little guy.
Nintendo.
Big mustache. And he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, these kids are starting to fight with this one. Blah, blah, blah. And I just like, before something happened, I hit the button. And he was like, look at you. You can't handle a bunch of high schoolers. You're stopping the train for like this for me? For what? And he turned around and he went back. And I'm like, isn't this what the button is for? And the CTA conductor was just upset that I wasted his time and made him walk 3 cars down to see what was happening.
I think you should have read below the button. It says in case of emergency, or if you can't handle a couple of puny high schoolers.
Yeah. I'm like, either way, I'm like, there was an assault.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like, they was actually physically, they're underage. Of course, I'm not going to hit a high schooler. Yeah. This is why I was like, you can hit me all you want. Like, nothing's going to happen to me. But I can't hit a high schooler. So I was like, just get off the train. Yeah. That was. Wow. And
I had not heard that story before.
I remember immediately after it happened, I started texting Mitch because I'm like, my heart won't stop beating. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that was a odd night, and the only confrontation I've ever been a part of on the CTA.
Did any of the offenders have glasses?
They did not that I recall. Okay. But you're also asking me to recall a lineup from probably about 6 years ago, and memory's a little foggy.
Yeah.
Well, I prodded you to tell that story to see if that would be an embarrassing story, and I could award you a bonus point. But I think you came off actually quite honorable there. So good for you as a person, but no bonus point. However,
thank God.
In terms of the Uber stare down, since we've implemented sort of a dad joke running theme here, Brian's going to get the 3 points because he mentioned solo cups, which allows me to tell this dad joke. Solo cups? More like YOLO cups.
Get out. Get out right now. I'll take my points honorably, and then I'm going to tell you to get out.
Mute him, Brian. Mute his mic. Cut him off. All right. Stop his feed.
All right. So that's Brian's number 4. That's Mitch's number 2. Mitch, it's number 4. So please, if you will, read off your number 4.
My number 4 is an obvious one, but there's some caveats to it that I think make this very successful for a party, and that is delicious but uncomplicated food. And what that means is, like, hopefully you can get it with a hand. You know, hand first is the best. Oh, there we go.
Yep,
I didn't hear the music at first. I was like, what's going on? I thought you were like, and the garbage disposal.
That's right. Uber Mitch, that was delicious but uncomplicated food. Brian, you worded it slightly differently, but let's hear it.
Go ahead, Mitch. Well, so mine is called it spread. So, and that's at my number 1. So, Mitch, I will let you go first.
Oh, so yeah. So, obviously, the food's got to be good. You can't trot out any phony baloney, any charcuterie BS. There's no, you're not saving money on chips here. You're buying the good chips. You're getting the good salsa. You're taking the time to make quality guacamole, but you want everything to be simple in terms of like how people can eat it. You don't want people to have 2 utensils, maybe 1, preferably only a spoon, because forks are just like, you will drop more things that way. So, I'm loving skewers here. I'm loving, as mentioned in the top 5 prepared summer meats episode, bulgogi is an incredible, great shindig food. You grab it with your hands, you go, shove it down your gullet, get your protein, keep going. Obviously chips. I love bread that you can dip into things. You got your utensil and your food all in one. And then, of course, late night, you want to have waves of food. So the people who ended up staying late and maybe are like a little drunk, you get them a big bowl of pretzels. You get them, I'm loving voodoo chips right now from Zapp's are great. That'd be a great party snack. Maybe some warm bread and cheese, just something you throw in the oven, just like a big old pile of it. People love that shit. And for those that I would call my champions, my VIPs, my number 1 bros and hoes, you make them grilled cheese late at night. Like 2 a.m., they're still there. You throw a little ham or a little turkey on there. And that's where you show your closest friends how much you care about them by making something a little fancier. But that food in waves is a great thing, because then also people, if they are having a little too much drink, obviously it helps sop up some of that alcohol, puts a dam between them and a horrible hangover or bad decisions. So
I think you might remember Mitch coming to a 4th of July party at my Uncle Frank's house. And we were upstairs my Uncle Frank lives on a farm, and at one of the barns that upstairs, there's the big party loft. And it was late at night, and we'd reached that stage in the evening, and then my Uncle Frank came up the stairs with a tray of Sloppy Joes in an attempt to sober us up, and my cousin Andrew, Frank's son, just shouted, "No, nobody eat them! This is a trick to sober us up!" and Frank turned around and sheepishly, 6'7" Frank turned around and sheepishly walked down the stairs with his tray of Sloppy Joes.
That's a walk of shame I can support.
Little did you know, I jumped off the balcony and ran around and got 2 of them. But no.
I'm pretty sure we ended up eating all of them in about 4 minutes. But.
Oh yeah, I mean, a Sloppy Joe is also. I mean, if you're eating them outside, it's great, because like once the Sloppy Joe gets all of your hands, you just lick that right off and you keep going. And it's
wipe your hands in the grass. It's fine.
Or wipe your hands in the grass. Yeah. I will say a party that I had recently, Thanksgiving, when Nathan, you were here, I feel like maybe, I don't know, I feel like the food didn't stop all the alcohol getting to your bloodstream completely that night. I remember you getting pretty silly.
I certainly, there was some out of line activities.
Okay.
Yeah, which we don't need to go into further, but I will admit we don't.
Oh, okay.
Hand over my head. I had some trouble metabolizing ethanol that night.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
But according to the house rules, that's -1 point.
You're a coward. Come on. No, I'm just
it was a day of Thanksgiving. I was full of gratitude. I just, that's be thankful for the small mercies. That's what I learned.
That's true. Yes.
I hope this means that if I win the Uber stare down, that means -1 for Mitchell.
I'll take it. That's fine. I'll come back.
All right.
I'm confident.
So that brings me to mine. Mine is a little bit more encompassing than just food. Spread for me is everything that's available to consume at a shindig. And so what do we have to nosh on? That's what I'm thinking about. So at a great shindig, especially at an outdoor shindig, I want variety, baby. I know I'm at a fun shindig when I see multiple coolers. You got beer, soda, and is that a kid's cooler in the corner just for Capri Suns? Now that's classy. So I want to open this beer cooler and see a spectrum of beer from cheap to imports. I want to see a soda spectrum from regular to diet, colas to thirst quenching lemon, lime, orange, and ginger ale. Then there's the communal mixed drink that we mentioned before. Then the buffet style of mains. And if it's a family graduation party, I know I'm going to have Italian beef, mozzarella, sausage, fried chicken, potato salad, a Caesar salad. And if it's a barbecue, you're going to have burgers, dogs, brats, sausage. And what's that in the corner? A brisket? Man, host, you've outdone yourself. And then when I'm interacting with guests abound, sipping my communal mixed drink in an area that I've selected in my free range, I want there to be some great snacks in front of me. Multiple bowls of chips, a veggie platter with French onion dip, and wait, sliced pita and 3 kinds of hummus? Oh my God, where am I? So this fun shindig is one where I've eaten and drank myself around the world, and then I have a miserable drive home because I've overconsumed. But I don't remember that. I just remember the fun shindig. So that's why the spread for me is at #1.
I have a couple questions. What flavors are the hummus, #1? And #2, I'm a staunch defender of American beer. I take issue with your description of the cooler from cheap to imports, as if imports are the only good beer available. I just want to put out there, and I want to have an argument about it. Let's go.
No, cheap is where you got your Natter Days and your PBRs.
Okay.
That's where you start. And then in the middle, you can have some other American crafts. You can have your Sam Adams. You can have your Moose Heads. You can have you can have this. But then you get your Hockershores and your Hefeweizens and stuff like that at the end. I want that full spectrum. I want options. I want.
I'm still. You said American crafts, and then you said Moosehead, which is Canadian. So I'm just still kind of fucking confused here, Brian. I'm just I'm not understanding all this beer, quote unquote, talk you're giving it.
You're just trying to defend yourself because you're already in a corner and you're already down a point. So I'm
swinging. Okay, my grandpa told me you keep swinging until no one's left, and then when no one's left, swing some more because it's good exercise. Okay, so that's where I'm at right now.
And the hummuses are red roasted pepper, then a garlic one, and then a feta cheese and olive because this is a fancy party.
Wow,
it's a fancy shindig.
Nice. I appreciate those hummus choices. Okay, I just clean up your beer words choice a little bit. Please.
I said spectrum. Yeah, end on cheap, and then you go all the way to import. There's a lot of stuff in between there that you can fill in with what you like.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, Brian, I love the idea of the kids' cooler, having the kids' cooler so you can make sure none of those pesky 14, 15-year-olds are getting into the big boy cooler and sneaking a beer. That's good. And including hummus, always going to be the key to my heart. But Mitch, you summed it up. Me, a grown 34-year-old man who himself has probably 5 pieces of cutlery in his home, said, and this is a direct quote, "You don't want people to have 2 utensils." That is speaking right to my heart and soul. So you get the 3 points. You missed one for bringing up the fact that I might have embarrassed myself with a few too many cocktails at Thanksgiving, but you're getting 2 points for this round for the Uber stare down.
Oh, I didn't say you embarrassed yourself. I just said that you were feeling good. So
I'm admitting that I embarrassed myself. But anyways, you win the round. Well done.
Okay. Thank you very much. Woo!
This stare down is bullshit.
Number 3. Mitch, can you read out your number 3 for me, please?
Absolutely. My number 3 is any great shindig has an incident. But the incident hopefully is with some strangers that not everyone knows. And the strangers has some zazz. Do you guys know what zazz is, or zazzle?
We do, but
would you actually define zazz for us? Because I actually looked in the dictionary. It's not in there.
Zazz is short for zazzle, and if you go to Urban Dictionary, the number 1 definition is flair and, a certain joie de vivre, if you will. So.
Joie de vivre. Oh, well, if you just would have said joie de vivre. Jeez. Brian, what was your number 3?
My number 3 is interactivity. So everything that's going together, and that.
Wait. So, Brian, you were thinking, what's going to be great at a party? And you just thought of, people talking to each other?
No,
Isn't that what every party is? What is this bullshit? Come on.
Interactivity is an attribute that I will then defend as the rules of this game say.
Okay.
Go
first, then. Defend interactivity as if it's a new idea.
You know what? First of all, suck it. 2. A dead shindig is no fun. This is why theme can be important ahead of time. Is this a holiday party with a bad sweater contest? Or is it a cookie decorating party? Will there be a drinking game? Will there be good conversationalists there? Or am I walking into a dead zone? Is there a grab bag? Are there folks there that I haven't seen in a while that I'm looking forward to? This is interactivity. I know it's broad, but it's the exciting X factor for a fun shindig. And the reason I have this at number 3 is because my number 1 and 2 are about comfortability. We'll get to my number 2 later, and nourishment. So I like my shindigs to last a while. So that's why 1 and 2 are higher, because I need that food that we mentioned in my number 1, and then we'll get to my number 2. And because I need those items longer at an event, interactivity is only at a 3 for me, because I need to be able to fill up multiple time, a lot of time while I'm there. But interactivity can be defined in multiple ways, as I've listed out here.
And but Mitch, what was back to yours with the what was the word? Jaja Gabor. I can't remember what was it?
It was you want some sort of incident, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing necessarily, just a memorable moment or memorable period of time at the party. And within that incident or you want to have some strangers at the party too, but strangers with zazz and or zazzle and or a certain joie de vivre, or a certain, or a certain how do you do, strangers that really blow you to the moon, and because one, it's fun to have wild cards and unknown, factors in the mix, because perhaps hopefully your party will be a lot of people that already know each other, because just getting right into the nitty gritty can be more fun than everyone being overly polite for too long. But so those strangers kind of just help people who is that? Who are they? Are they cute? Yes, they're cute. Are they single? Maybe they're not. Who are they dating? Those kind of things. And so an incident could be my God, who was that guy who tried to do the splits during George Clinton's, what's the famous George Clinton song? Now my mind is blanking, but basically who pulled that insane dance move on the dance floor and then split their pants? That's a classic comedy trope right there, splitting your pants. That's a great incident. Or who were those strangers that made out on the back porch? Does anyone know who they were? Did they just come over from the apartment next door? What's going on with that? So that's why I love to have a little stranger energy in the room. And also, strangers are even better if they know someone and they come in, they're this also is a selfish thing that I say as the host of the party if you're hosting it. If they come into your house going, I've heard so much about you. Man, I've heard, you are cool. And you're like, what? No, come on. Try my bulgogi or 3 different kinds of guacamole. There's, fried chicken coming out. And, please, I have 2 different types of punch cocktails, please. And they're like, you are incredible. And then you're like, no, come on. Thank you so much, though. Enjoy, So that's where I'm coming from with
whatever happens, Mitch, don't ever say try my bulgogi to me again.
Me and Steve Moore, friend of the show and friend of ours, Steve Moore had a great stranger incident at our friend's wedding where the best man was a bit eccentric. We are all staying at Airbnb, and the best man was a bit eccentric, and he disappeared during the reception. And Steve and I went back and we opened the door of the B&B, and it's like a cathedral ceiling sort of open plan ground floor. We opened the door, music is blaring, and the best man by himself is just complete stark ass naked, dancing with his arms over his head in the middle of the living room. And then he came up, we went to bed, and then he came into my room and was like, dude, I need to borrow your phone charger. And he just took my phone charger out of the wall. He's like, don't worry, you'll never see me again. And thankfully I haven't, but it was memorable.
Wow.
Well, so for that round, I mean, it was just, Brian, it was a bit vague. And then Mitch was so specific with his example and also his language, saying, what was it? Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jacques Cousteau, Joachim Noah. What was it? You're going to have to, one more time. It was...
A little Zaz, a.k.a. Zazzle, a.k.a. Joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre. Okay. All right. So, Mitch, that's Joie de 3 points.
This is fucking bullshit. You know what? If I knew all I needed to do is use some vague Urban Dictionary definition or some bullshit French word, you know what? I see how it is. Next episode, I'm coming out of the shadows, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to use multiple languages. No one's going to understand what the hell I'm saying.
I've been waiting for a challenge, Brian. Okay,
wow. Wow.
Gauntlet thrown down.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Also, do you have multiple roosters on your shirt? I didn't think so.
No, because I'm not a cock.
Hey, you know what? Someone's got to do the walk, and I'm happy to. So.
We are... I didn't know how to transition out of that. I
mean, that's fine. We don't need a segue for that. Just nothing. A good hearty laugh.
We'll fix that in editing.
I was gonna throw a dad joke Brian's way and say, if you roll your eyes that hard, they might stay that way.
God willing.
Well, I lost my place.
If you want to give us a topic to talk about in the meantime as you tabulate or figure out your next move, you can do that as well.
I'm caught up. You saying that sentence was exactly the perfect amount of time for me to get there. So, so you did exactly what you said you were going to do. So thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, and what we need now is Brian's number 2. So.
Yes, we do. So number 2, I have, and this is very important to me, is seating. And the reason why is I'm going to set the scene for you, Nathan, judge for today. You have Chinette's finest thick pressed compartmentalized paper plates, the one with enough room for every side dish plus 2 main courses. And in your other hand, you have a red Solo cup filled to the brim with some fresh booze or an ice cola that complements your paper plate buffet nicely. You're balancing the plate in one hand while holding the cup in the other. What do? You can turn to your plate into a trough and alternate between lackluster bites and the occasional sip, or you can find a ledge to put your drink on to let you scarf a few bites, or you can find a nice seat, preferably with a table, to enjoy your food comfortably. And maybe, just maybe, some other fine folks will join you, making for a nice, enjoyable seating arrangement. And why this made my list, I'm a husky boy. I need a sturdy chair. And nothing is more anxiety-inducing than a skinny-legged patio furniture set on soft grass, foldable plaid lawn chairs from the 70s, or brittle plastic-weathered chairs. So, to have a nice place to enjoy all this great food in this environment at the party, a nice place to sit and talk to the fine folks, that's why I have seating on my list of attributes for a fun shindig.
Have you had any instances in your life where this has gone south for you?
I have been to shindigs where I have not been able to sit, so I'm eating in the corner, kind of like some sort of rodent. I have sat in a chair that has sunk into soft grass, and as the conversation goes, I am just slowly going into the grass, about ready to tip. And I have sat in chairs that have broken. Yes. So to have good, sturdy chairs in a comfortable environment is why everyone needs a chance to sit down at least once at a party.
That is true. I'm, as everybody knows, I'm one of the great dancers of this or any generation. So I prefer to have a party on my feet. But I do appreciate being able to get a nice rest. And also, you told on yourself a little bit there with a little embarrassing moment. So that's a bonus point. So you get 2 points this round, Brian.
Wow.
Boom.
Mitch doesn't seem impressed at all. So can't wait to hear whatever's left for him.
I just saw your giant blind spot, and now I'm going to run right into it, and I'm going to take the championship, if you will, right here, because this my number one is a no-brainer, and it's not a party without it, I don't think. If you don't have this, it's a dinner party or maybe like a board game night or a disparate group of folks standing on a lawn. And that is not just music, but a well-curated, at least 2-hour-long playlist that gets the party going or keeps it going. It's like it's meant for a specific time of night or day. And this is most important because it keeps the energy up. And hopefully, also in my opinion, no party is complete without some dancing at some point. Either you dance when you're sober, or once you've had a couple drinks, you feel good enough to dance, or your friends start loosening up so then you feel comfortable to dance as well. And I'm not saying don't do like the more recent music. I'm not saying that. I'm saying go back. Turn the pages back. If you're getting weird, and I like to get weird when I dance, I like to just close my eyes and let it all go. I love some good psychedelic rock from the 60s or 70s. Disco is surprisingly a great music to put on. Everyone can dance to disco. All you have to do is just step back and forth. That's like, that's like the basic thing. You can throw in some movements, but in general, it's just like a lot of shoulder dipping, a lot of elbows getting thrown around, maybe some points. You got the Bee Gees up there. You got Donna Summer. Throw some funk in too while you're at it. Why not? Maybe some good soul songs as well.
Can I pose a challenge to you right now?
What's
just
that?
Off the cuff challenge. I'm going to give you 3 times: 8 p.m., 12 midnight, 3 a.m. Give me a song for each of those times at your party. Okay.
I would go 8 o'clock. I would go with I don't know all the Bee Gees songs off the top of my head, but there's a Bee Gees song that I especially love. That Night Fever. Thank you. Sorry, I just looked up Night Fever for 8 o'clock. That will get everyone's booty rolling a little bit. 12 o'clock, I would say, is this one's gonna be a little bit more somber, but I think it'll be a nice song to either say goodbye to people who are leaving, or to bring everyone into a tighter group once the party's dwindling a bit. And this one's a little sad, but it's These Arms of Mine by Curtis Mayfield. And then 2 a.m. is I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night by they're a great band. Let me look. The Electric Prunes. So yeah, this is a song off of a double album called The Nuggets. It's a great psychedelic collection from the 60s. Those will get you going. And maybe by 2 a.m. too, maybe you've had a little extra, something else. Maybe you've had a little CBD oil, a little legal marijuana, maybe a little magic mushrooms, perhaps. Who knows? But that's when you're feeling yourself. And those are that's music. You gotta have music, and it's gotta be well curated. It can't just be some random mix. And also, I want to say this to any of my friends out there, and you know who you are, who go to a party and change the music. Go to hell. Or you switch the song before it's over. Go to hell. Mm-hmm. You finish a song. Okay.
Correct.
That's one thing I was going to say is why I like this as a number one, is because having like my cousin Andrew, who we mentioned earlier in this show and a few stories in previous episodes, famous for throwing great themed parties. And so like he would do like an 80s party back in the day. And it was like, okay, like there's a theme to the party, which means there's a theme to the music, which means no one can touch the music, because it is, as you say, one of the rudest things you can do. Go into somebody's home after they've tried to, like, you wouldn't go bring your own food and like toss, their dip in the garbage and put your dip in there. And the music is just as important to the party. So how dare you? Who gave you the right to turn off their music and put on something else? Unacceptable.
But Mitch will step in and take over someone's grill.
Well, hold on. I will say, if you're at an 80s party and they're like, yeah, we got the Beatles on, then yeah, fuck you. That's not an 80s party.
For sure.
And in that case, then you talk to them, you step in. And if someone's destroying, like, you can change the music. You're not wasting any money. If someone spent good money on ground beef and meat and they're destroying it, you have an obligation as a future father, a current father, or a young father to step in and say, hey. So is this something you've done? Wrong. Is this something you've done at parties where you were the guest as you took over the grill? Has this happened? Yeah, because they didn't know how to fucking work a grill. And people thanked me. They thanked me afterwards. Oh, and it ended up turning, I just worked the party, basically. I didn't get to enjoy it. I was just making food for everyone. So. Oh, dear. Well, I mean, you were at that party too, Nathan. So. I think I've been to that party more than once. It's that party where they're like, oh, we've got pre-soaked charcoal briquettes, and they light them up. And then like after 3 minutes, they're like, all right, let's throw the meat on. And then you're like, no, don't. And then people are like, why does all this beef taste like lighter fluid? Like, well, I wonder why. Because your grill master there doesn't know how to work with charcoal in a meaningful way. So yeah. Well, you've revealed yourself to be a pretty precarious guest to have at a party, but you've given the house rules. You've earned yourself a bonus point by admitting that. And then on top of that, I'm gonna give you the full 3 points for your number one, because music is the what is it? The soul of whatever, or the food of the soul, or some shit like that I can't remember. Listeners can fill in the quote for themselves, which I'm going to tally the scores here. That's +1, +3, 2, 4. I don't even get any points for trying. All right, also, can I issue a correction quickly, because I misspoke. I said These Arms of Mine by Curtis Mayfield. It's actually Otis Redding, so I deeply apologize. I think I want to clear that up. And also, I want to say, Brian, this has been a true pleasure battling during our summer barbecue trilogy, if you will. And this is the, this is the final ep. So it's been great. So I mean, we're bleeding. There's been slices and dices. There's been cuts and punches. We're going in. The final score on this one that I've got is I believe it's 11-7 in favor of Mitch. So that is. Did I even get any points for my number two? Or am I just sitting here? No, you got number. I gave you 2 points. Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah. Sitting here with my hot dog in my hand. Yeah. Brian, let's be honest. It's a high quality German bratwurst. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, that's it for the contest, but that leaves me with my Fast Five. The all-time greatest top 5 dad jokes. We've been peppering them in here a little bit, but I'm going to give you the top 5. All right. You boys ready? Yep. All ready. All right. Hey, Mitch. Yep. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe who? Cantaloupe tonight. My dad's got the ladder. Oh, my God. Number 4. Hey, Brian. Yes? Look up. Do you see that ceiling? Yes. It's not my favorite, but it's up there. Number 3. Hey, Mitch. Yeah? Did I ever tell you about my trip to Ireland? No, you haven't. What happened? I saw U2 perform by the Cliffs of Moher. I stood very close to the edge. Oh, God. Wow. Number 2. Hey, Brian. Yes? Have you ever seen the seminal 1980s music video for Take On Me by the group Aha? Of course. Did you like it? I loved it. Nah, I think it's a bit sketchy. I think you need to apologize right now.
Number 1.
Just say the words. Okay.
Hey, Mitch.
Yeah?
We were roommates freshman year of college. Do you remember that guy who lived down the hall from us named Jimmy Glasscock?
Oh, yeah, we can always see him coming.
That's right, and that is this week's edition of Uber's Cinco. Joining me from the Southport quarter on the north side of Chicago has been...
Mitch Brinkman.
And from out in Berwyn, Illinois has been...
Brian Ernst.
And I've been Nathan Hennenfent, and as BizBear always says, when it comes to parties, my political views align with the after party, and my religious views... the hotel lobby. Auf Wiedersehen and adios.
You've just listened to Uber Cinco, a production of UBK Studios. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine podcasts from.
If you like what you hear and want to support the show, please visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/UBK Studios. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the bill collectors at bay.
Keep tabs on us on all the social media at UBK Studios, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that we really are just a bunch of good Midwestern boys.